Here I am. I'm here in North Bergen, my hometown, Hudson County, Boulevard East. The skyline is beautiful. It's funny, when you live so close to New York, you tend to not appreciate what you have here. A beautiful look at the greatest city in the world. Look at the lights, the buildings, the moving cars. I'm not really a New Yorker. Honestly, when I go to Manhattan, I don't like the traffic or the huge mass of people. But New York has a special place in my heart. A lot of my father's family came from New York. My dad grew up on the Lower East Side of Manhattan. He lived in a tough place at sometimes tough times. My uncles came from New York, but the one person that I think of when it comes to New York is my grandmother. My grandma. I would remember going to New York City, driving through the Lincoln Tunnel, and driving to my grandmother's apartment. Driving in the city, looking at the buildings in amazement, then finally reaching Amsterdam houses. My grandmother was so loving and caring. The city to me is just like my grandmother. Now it just reminds me of her. I miss my grandmother and others that passed. I miss people I once loved. I miss the girlfriend I had. It's been years, but I still miss her. I have these memories, and I think about how my family was broken up after the passing of relatives, and how time changes things. There was a security, a safety when I went to my grandmother's. I kissed her, and everything would be alright. I have a mental illness. It is called schizoaffective disorder. It may sound weird, but I'm proud of having a mental illness. People who are mentally ill have to be very strong, extremely strong. Mental illness is only part of my identity. I have so much more to offer. I also think about freedom. I remember when I was psychotic, how badly I wanted to be admitted to a hospital. I wanted nothing else but to get out once I was mentally stable. It takes a lot out of you when you're hospitalized. You feel like you're different than everyone, that you're not normal. Stigma is alive and true. I've been hospitalized 5 times for mental illness. 2 times I was admitted to NYU Tisch Hospital Psych Ward. They had a meeting and my parents were there, and they diagnosed me with schizoaffective disorder right there. It really bothered me at the time. I was full of denial. When you hear the word schizo, you think of schizophrenia, or the worst possible thing. So it was a good thing and a negative thing, but mostly a good thing because it woke me up. Mental illness is a term that people on the outside give to people that have a problem. It is a strong word. I like mood disorder better. I think that's one of the reasons why there is stigma. It's been 1 year since I started this project, last winter. I wanted to keep working on it, but things changed and things happened. I wanted to continue and finish this project. I was getting into the project and getting more confident and happier, learning how to film, edit, and tell a story. I felt like it was my comeback story. But then I had a surgery, an oral surgery, and now I have chronic oral nerve pain. It's probably going to be with me my whole life. Every day I think about it and it's a struggle. Every second I feel pain. A lot of times I just want to scream about it, but I guess an educated person teaches you not to go crazy when there's something wrong. I guess in life, as you get older, there's going to be chaos. So you just have to ride the waves and be positive. Life can be pain. I feel like people with mental illness are portrayed in a negative light. Like when there's an act of terror, like a school shooting, the people in the media are the first ones to think, oh, this guy's crazy. He has a mental illness. But in truth, mentally ill people are very nice and loving and caring people. They are going through something in their lives that could break them. Yet they are strong and have sympathy and care for other people. And they want for others what they want for themselves, which is happiness. Mentally ill people can be dangerous, just like anyone else can be dangerous. Usually, when mentally ill people do actions that are considered right or not right, it is because they are not being treated right. Either they are not taking their medication and are in a manic state. And a lot of people don't understand that. People see a man that's homeless and talking to themselves, and they smell, and not all, but some homeless people do have mental illness. When I was in a shelter, I witnessed 2 men sharing medication that is used for mental health. This just shows you that some people need medication and help, and some can't afford health care for themselves, and they end up where they shouldn't be. Manic people can make decisions that are brutal, intense, and can affect their lives forever. If I'm going to be honest, I think that one of the hardest things I've ever dealt with is pain. And it's funny because people think mentally ill people, they're not stable and they can't deal with things. But being mentally ill is not a bad thing. It's more the actions that you do. So even though I have this illness, I try to do things to help me cope with life, like exercise and other things that I like.
Like you're pushing something. A little pivot. Push the hip forward. Right. There you go. Right. Quick. Quick. Let it go. Let it go. No, you're going. Just let it go. From there. Yeah. There you go. There you go. Okay. Left right. Left right. Corner row. 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go. Do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, move. Hands up. Hands up. Left right hook. Left right hook uppercut. Left right hook uppercut. Hey, again. Okay.
It is my experience of life. It's part of who I am. I could spend the rest of my life denying it or fighting it, but I embrace it and live with it. It is part of my identity, and it helps make me stronger. I imagine myself in the future, being happy, and even though I have this illness, I can still live a good life.